Did you ever sit down and think about how it would be like if you got your eyes out from your head and put them behind your head and see the world from behind your head? You know, kind of like a third person view of things. Would be interesting, and you know, in my opinion, it could change your lives forever if that happened. Maybe in the future, some things would come out and you'd be able to play the real world in third person. Would you guys be interested in that? Let me know down in the comments. Why did I bring that up? Well, because Donde shown in his latest stream that he's planning to change the camera in this game. You know, now the camera is around your dinosaur. You see, I can move around, I can look at my nose, I can look at my neck, at my clothes, and my tail. Anyway, like that, right? Well, he's trying to change it and put it like this close to the dinosaur, right? Like something like this. You won't really see your body anymore. And apparently, Dondi says this will help with, I don't know, people will be able to ambush you easily, which I don't see how that could be, because look, even if I play like this, I can just do this and look behind me and do this all the time. Even if I'm like this, I don't see behind me right now. Same thing, I can just look like this. I don't know what he's on about, and in this video, rather than just talk about it and say, you know, if it's a good idea or a bad idea, after all, he decides what to implement in the game. I want to bring some of my ideas of how you could make ambushing easier and, you know, seeing harder as a dinosaur in games like these. I forgot I can swim as this guy. I went to the water and I was like, oh, let me drink, but my brain didn't comprehend I went to the water to swim, actually. Yeah, I think that idea with the camera behind the head is kind of bad because, you know, people like to see their dinosaur, people like to look at their dinosaur. That's why we play the game, after all, to look at our dinosaur. I played the Isle because, you know, it made me happy that I can see my dinosaur and play it. There were a lot of games in the past, like that game with Did They Dinosaurs or something, and there were a lot of other games back then when I was a kid and I loved dinosaurs that literally made you, I don't know, you would literally see the hands on the side of the dinosaur. You wouldn't even see the body, like an FPS shooter with your hands out, you know, with a knife in front of you, but instead of those hands, it's dinosaur hands, and that's how you would play as a dinosaur. You know, those were fun times, but then I found Jurassic Park Operation Genesis and I was like, oh my god, I can see dinosaurs. Oh my god, they look so cool. I want to watch them walk around forever. It made me enjoy the game. And then the Isle came and, you know, I bought it and I enjoyed the Isle because now I can actually play the dinosaur, not actually just look at it play itself, right? And now Dondi wants to take that and, you know, make the camera behind the head, which I guess it's a solution. Might not be a good one, but at least it's a solution. And at least they're thinking about making ambushing way easier for carnivores, because, you know, carnivores is a class you can play in this game, and, you know, they should have fun too, not only herbivores, aka Stegosaurus killing everybody. I want to bring to the table 3 ideas I thought about that I think would make a better idea of how you could hide players from the player. That makes sense. Well, all of them could be very bad ideas. All of them could be all good ideas. It's up to you to decide if you like any of them. You know, after all, not all ideas are good, including the one behind the head. First idea I thought about is literally one of the big aspects of all games out there, which is depth of field. I know, right? It's something we all deal with in video games and everything of the sorts. If you don't know what depth of field is, if I were to stand here during the daytime and even now during the nighttime, you see that mountain behind me over there where my beak is right now, right there. Yeah, anyway. That mountain, if depth of field was applied, it would be blurry, right? And I will try to simulate it in my editing software for all of you out there. I don't know if it would work, but hey, I hope it will. Yeah. Depth of field could make, you know, distances like that be blurry. Now, why is that important? Even the trees behind me across the river the depth of field could come into play, and that area could be kind of blurry and hard to see, and the player would only see around him in an area depending of the creature you're playing. I will show you an image on the screen right now I made in paint. Basically, the bigger the dinosaur, or the better eyesight it has, the less blurry the surroundings are. For example, the T-Rex, it said that it had very good vision, right? It could see very good. So the depth of field, as you can see on the screen, could be the radius it can see is very big, and after that radius the depth of field starts applying. Well, for a creature like me, the baby, like this baby, the depth of field could be from here until that tree over there, I could see clearly. After that tree, it starts to get blurry, right? And I'll have to move through the world and stuff like that just to find my way around. Now, I don't know, maybe some of you would like that idea. It would make, look, those three in the distance, they're kind of floating, they're pixels, right? If you apply depth of field, you don't really see the non-details, and it would make the game look pretty. It's a thing that Assassin's Creed Odyssey uses, if anybody heard about that game. That game is not really good at distances because it's a very big map, so they apply depth of field so you don't even see that it's bad details in the distance. I don't know, I hear something next to me here. Hello? It's just an AI. Beautiful. Let's go eat mushrooms in the sanctuary. So yeah, depth of field. Do you like that idea? Do you not like that idea? Let me know down in the comments. It came to me, right? Initially, I thought I could play around with this idea and actually, play with the eyes of the dinosaur. Let me go in the field more clearly so you can see. I guess here is okay. The grass is a little smaller. The eyes are on the side of the dinosaur, so basically everything behind me, it would be blurry, right? If I turn my head to the right, everything, I don't know, if I'm like this and I look behind, you see how my head is pointing to the right? Everything to my left, so over there, while my head is pointing to the right, the depth of field would apply there, and I wouldn't see. I'll have to, move my head like that to see in that direction, and everything on the other direction would be blurry, right? Depth of field. It could be interesting, and if they play with the settings, something that's not too annoying for the player and very helpful to immersion, right? Because herbivores wouldn't really have good vision. Look at his night vision around me. You see how there's a circle around me. I see that could be where the actual dinosaur sees, and the depth of field could apply that tree in the front of me. You see that tree? It would be kind of blurry, and I'll have to go a little bit towards it to came into focus, something like that, right? It's an interesting idea, and it could play into mutations as well. As we know, mutations are coming into the game. You could have a mutation to make your field of vision more bigger, so not everything's blurry and you can actually see better. There you go, another idea of a mutation. Depth of field could be a solution to our problems in this game without making the players see the game like this, right? Well, tell me what you think about it, and if you want to expand on this idea, you're free to do it, either on Discord or anywhere you want, really. I don't mind. Good idea as long as it helps the players, right? A second idea I had is make more camera animations. You see how now I'm eating, and my camera literally, if I don't touch the mouse, my camera does not move, right? Now, wouldn't it be cool if I pressed E to eat something, the camera would slowly zoom in, and on the side of my dinosaur, I don't know, right now my dinosaur is on the middle of the screen. The camera could literally zoom, have a nice animation that zooms next to the head. Even maybe see the dinosaur from the left a little as it eats, So kind of like a cinematic shot of it eating. I think that would be cool, rather than, I can literally zoom out like this and I can see everything in front of me. But if I zoom in like this, a lot of games do this, when animations play, when things happen, the camera just is not stuck to the player. It kind of zooms in and you know, something like this, you see, like this, you know, but more down. I can go downer than this. And that's what I mean by animations, right? When you run with your dinosaur, let me just eat this. Fuck it, you're more important, guys. If I run with the dinosaur, you see, I don't touch the mouse, the camera is stuck behind me. Now animation could, if you run again, the camera could zoom in and on the left of the dinosaur or right, you know, kind of make it more focused, you know, like it focuses on what's in front of you, what you're running towards, right? It just zooms in like this, but more on the side. Let me see if I can edit this in editor, right? Something like this, and the camera could literally shake a little, which maybe could be disabled in the settings if somebody's, you know, sick of movement and stuff. It could make things way better, right? And you know, could be like this, but if the dinosaur it's idle for a few seconds, the camera could just zoom out and start to, you know, move around the player like this, and you know, just you know, see the dinosaur in all its glory. It's more of a problem in this idea I'm suggesting, the idea number 2 is more of a problem that the camera shouldn't really, like right now it's locked, right? It just moves around the creature like this. Well, they could play around with camera animations that, you know, instead of just zooming on top of my head, you know, even right now, look, it's kind of to the left, which, you know, it's something like I'm talking about, but even like that, I don't know, it feels very stiff and very locked on the player. If I zoom in on the dinosaur, the camera could just, I don't know, have a smooth animation going to the left like this, but actually pointing in that direction, right? And when, you know, whenever I start to run, it could zoom out like this, you know, like run like this, you know, or it could zoom out in front, as I said, you know, it depends what you think is best. Do you think, you know, zooming in when you run like this, you know, the camera zooms on its own, you don't have to zoom it, you know, when you're sitting like this, sure, it's like this, you know, you can see your dinosaur, but the moment you do anything, for example, you press E to eat, the camera, you don't press anything, the camera on its own will move closer to the dinosaur, you know, to focus on the food. And maybe again it could be played with the depth of field. The depth of field around this area, like 2-3 meters around these mushrooms, you could see, but anything around you, it's blurry, right? Depth of field. So you're focused, your dinosaur's focused on the food, right? You don't see anything, even in front of you, right? Even in front of you. Like, that's why they locked the screen, so you can look behind you. But some animals, you know, they're so focused on the food, they can't even see in front of them. So the depth of field can literally hide the trees in front of you and everything that's in front of you, making ambushes easier, right? Now, again, if you run, the camera could literally zoom in on its own, or, you know, if you're sitting like this and you decide to run, it will literally zoom out like this, and, you know, it will kind of make you feel more connected to the dinosaur's movement and how the life is. Because right now, if I run, look, the camera is literally stuck. It doesn't tremble, it doesn't move, if I don't move the mouse, the camera stays the same. My dinosaur is the only one moving, which kind of, I always felt that it makes the player disconnected from the dinosaur, right? Like, look, it's just, I feel like sure, it's a good thing, but they could really play around with the camera movement. And, you know, if you look behind you, it's kind of like it could zoom in and you kind of go like on the right of the dinosaur, like literally right now the head is in the middle, the camera could point to right, so your head would be on the left of side of the screen. I'll show you in the editing software, so you don't need to worry about it. So that way you can only see the left side where you're looking. You want to look right, the camera will switch places and the head will be on the right. You know, more camera animations, which, you know, if you combine it with depth of field, my first idea, it could actually be an interesting and proper mechanic that, you know, it would make you more connected to your dinosaur, which I think it's alright. And moving on to my third idea for this suggestion, making, you know, things easier to ambush and all, which I think this idea is not very special and you shouldn't really take it seriously, only if you like it, right? The first two ideas is the ones I like the most, and I think the isle would benefit very greatly from all of them. It's, you know, something like detecting dinosaurs, right? If you don't want to see the dinosaurs around you, you didn't detect them, right? And, you know, like, let's say there's a raptor somewhere on the other side of the lake. I don't see it. It's there, the player's there, I just don't see it. If I want to see it, I have to go closer, and the dinosaur will just appear. Something like, I don't know, World of Tanks with less effects on the screen. The dinosaur will just, you know, like, it will appear into focus, right? From the shadow of the underworld or whatever, right? I know it's a dumb idea, but, you know, it could be a solution to making dinosaurs. You know, if you don't see, you know, there could be a T-Rex right over there, right? You could not see them. If you go closer, or it comes closer to you, you start seeing it. Also, this idea, and also I want to say here something, maybe a fourth idea, you know, tell me if you like the third one with detecting dinosaurs and all. I think it's not very good, but I wanted to present it to you. Maybe you like it. The fourth idea and the final one is sound, right? If you combine depth of field, camera animations, and even detecting dinosaurs, if you sniff like this, you don't really need to sniff, just the thingy appear in front of you, or not even that. I'll show you in the editing software. Let's say there's a T-Rex in front of me over there. This could also help deaf people who want to play the aisle actually enjoy the aisle. If there's a T-Rex running towards you in the distance, let's say it's in that direction, you don't see it. There's trees there, there's a lot of things there. These lines will start appearing, you know, the sound lines, right? And they're kind of moving, and the sound is getting bigger and bigger as it comes closer to you, right? And when it's close enough, they will disappear because you see the dinosaur. You know, when it enters your depth of field, or, you know, your camera or whatever, you know, in all the ideas I said, the dinosaur can just literally, you know, it appears. You can see it. You don't have to hear it anymore because you see it, you know. If it's more, again, connection with, because it will make the players feel more like dinosaurs, right? If you would be here as this baby, trust me, you wouldn't see as good as this monitor shows me I'm seeing, because this is an animal. It probably doesn't really have good eyesight, right? Like, some do, some don't, right? I don't think chickens have good eyesight. Maybe 2-3 meters and that's it, right? Maybe, I don't know. Even 10 meters. What's 10 meters from me to that tree? Maybe this tree right here. That's 10 meters, right? Anything beyond that, it's blurry. It's depth of field. If there's a T-Rex, you know, in the other tree right there, and it's walking towards me, these, like, lines will appear, right? If you sniff, or even if you don't sniff, those lines will appear and get bigger and bigger as it comes closer to you. And when it's inside your field of vision, they disappear because you see it, and oh my god, you need to run, right? Imagine you're just sitting here, a baryonyx, a baby, whatever, you're drinking water, you're chilling with friends, talking in the rain in the swamp, and suddenly you hear footsteps in the distance. Oh my god, where did they come from? Because, you know, not everybody has good headphones. Not everybody, even if you have good headphones, sometimes you don't really know where is that, right? You gotta move your head around to really focus on what you're hearing. Well, if you see those lines in the distance, let's say in those bushes right there, you hear stomps like boom, boom, boom. Those lines could appear, and, you know, if they're getting closer to you, you'll hear them. One, you'll hear them louder, and two, they'll get bigger and bigger until they come out of the bushes and you see them, and oh my god, you need to run. And yeah, that would be a cool idea in my opinion. Now, tell me down in the comments which thing you like the most, if you like any, if you think any of them are good or bad or whatever. Anyway, it was me, Mr. Beard. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Shout out to the people who missed me. Shout out to the people who didn't. I saw your comments. I read all of the comments. I'm trying to read and heart all of your comments. So yeah, happy days, guys. Happy spring. Spring came. I hope you're happy. Well, not Australia. Australia is autumn, right? Well, I hope you're happy too, Australia. Have a nice one, boyos, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.